Namaskar. Welcome to our channel Bio by Gulab Sir for Wisdom Coaching Center. As a part of series of lectures, the topics are types of seeds. As usual, after fertilization, seeds are developed. So, types of seeds. As you know, that seeds are of two major types, monocot and dicot. Monocot seeds and dicot seeds. On the basis of that presence of one cotyledon and two cotyledon. In monocot seed, one cotyledon is present. And in dicot seed, two cotyledons are present. This one cotyledon which is present in monocot seed is a reduced cotyledon, that is scutellum. So, by having a diagram we can see, these monocot seeds are also known as albuminous seed because that protein is present even at maturity. Also known as endospermic seed. Endospermic seed, because endosperm is not fully utilized but it remains unused, and therefore that endosperm is present along with seed. Here, since that endosperm albumin is fully utilized to develop the embryo, therefore it is called as X albuminous seed. Albuminous seed, also known as non-endospermic seed. Non-endospermic seed. Now, to understand this in detail, that here the diagram is, this is for monocot, and these seeds consist of two cotyledon. These two are two cotyledon, cotyledon 1, cotyledon 2. Here in monocot seed, this is a aileron layer. This is a aileron layer all around the endosperm. This aileron layer is all around the endosperm, which is absent in this is endosperm. This area is full of endosperm, is not being utilized. Therefore, this seed is endospermic. As here the endosperm is used, here the endosperm is used to develop this cotyledon and embryo. So, these are the two cotyledon, and this is embryo axis. Now, this embryo axis in monocot, here this is plumule which covered by coleoptile in monocot, and this is a radical covered by coleorhiza. Coleorhiza in monocot. But here in dicot, radical and plumule are not covered by hypocotyle and epicotyle, but that epicotyle and hypocotyle, epicotyle, this is the area epicotyle, this is the area hypocotyle. This epicotyle is terminate into radical, terminate into plumule, and hypocotyle that terminate into, so epicotyle terminate into plumule and hypocotyle terminate into radical. So, this is embryo axis. This is a complete embryo axis. So, can be called as embryo axis. So see, this is the major difference between monocot and dicot seed. Why these seeds are called endospermic? Because endosperm is present even at maturity. Here endosperm is not present. It is utilized to develop these two primordial leaves called cotyledon that are nutritious, and this embryo is fully developed. So as with embryo axis having epicotyle which terminate into plumule, hypocotyle that terminate into radical, but here it is not so. That plumule is covered by coleoptile and radical is covered by coleorhiza. Here plumule and radical are not covered, they are open. So epicotyle terminate into plumule, hypocotyle terminate into radical. Here coleoptile is not terminate into plumule, but plumule is covered by coleoptile, and coleorhiza is not terminate into radical, or radical is not terminate into coleoptile, but radical is covered by coleorhiza. So this is the difference. Moreover, this monocot, it has this scutellum as a reduced cotyledon. This is a scutellum as a reduced cotyledon, because as such for this seed no need to have food from cotyledon as in dicot it is required. Here endosperm is not developed into cotyledon, therefore cotyledon remain underdeveloped or reduced, and since it is the only one cotyledon, therefore this is known as monocot seed. Now examples. All monocot seeds except orchids. Remember this for NEET, except orchids. This exception you have to remember. And in dicotyledon seed, all dicot plants except castor, cotyledon, endospermic, and chili or seeds belong to Solanaceae family. So Lycor, persicum, esculentum, tomato, chili, brinjal, etc. These are endospermic seed, therefore exceptional. This is exception. So these are endospermic, and this orchid is non-endospermic. So except does mean that all the monocot seeds are endospermic except orchids, all the dicot seeds are non-endospermic except castor, tomato, chili and brinjal, or plants belong to Solanaceae family. I hope you did understand that major difference between these two seeds. Here it is shown clearly in diagram, as we already learned about this. This is a dicot. Here you can see these are the two cotyledon, 1 and 2, hence it is called dicotyledon, and this is embryo axis with hypocotyle and epicotyle, that what shown with radical and plumule there itself. Here epicotyle terminate into plumule that develop the shoot, and hypocotyle terminate to radical that develop the root later. Here in monocot seed, this coleoptile and coleorhiza, coleoptile cover radical, coleoptile cover plumule, and coleorhiza cover radical. It is already shown here, it is covered radical. This coleorhiza covers radical, and as we learned in previous diagram, so this is what diagram available on NET, you can take as a reference, and our explanation is very clear cut with this diagram. I hope you did understand that major difference between these two types of seed. Now very important that then seeds which are produced, then plants produce thousands of seeds and they remain dormant in unfavorable condition, that their metabolic activities come to an halt. That period is known as dormancy period of the seed. Seed can remain viable for thousands of years, and we have two examples. That Lupinus arcticus, this Lupinus arcticus found in Arctic Arctic tundra which found viable for 10,000s of years, viable for after 10,000 years, viable after 10,000 years. And another one, that Phoenix dactylifera, it is found near King Herod. It is found in King Herod Palace near Dead Sea, and found to be viable even after 2000s of year, even after viable after 2000 years. So they remain dormant, and this is what this can be asked in NEET or general questions. How many seeds can be produced? Orchids produce thousands of seeds, and even banyan tree, you would be knowing that in fig fruit, that inside it has mustard like seed, small size seed. Banyan tree could produce billions of seeds, millions of seeds, or billions of seeds. These two things can be asked in NEET, and therefore I have been concentrated here. So please remember types of seeds, that monocot and dicot seed, albuminous, ex-albuminous, non-endospermic, endospermic with diagram and exception, as well as these two things, that what seeds remain viable for many years, and even season to season what we do store the seed when they are dehydrated with 10 to 15% of moisture can be stored for a year, so as to can be sown when favorable condition comes. So that period is known as dormant period, and phenomenon is known as dormancy. But these two seeds belong to these two plants found viable even for 10,000 and 2,000 years respectively. That is a great, that what they are sown and grown and found viable, and therefore it is written that Lupinus arcticus is the plant whose seeds were found near Arctic tundra, and when sown even after 10,000 years they got germinated. Whereas another example, Phoenix dactylifera, that seeds found King Herod Palace near Dead Sea and found viable when they sown after 2000 years, they also grown into the plant. These two things can be asked in NEET. Therefore, I have concentrated these into this video and refer to have the knowledge of these types of seed with their viability and dormancy. I hope you did understand these types of seeds and minor things which are required to be understood for board and NEET examination. Even if you are in doubt, you can ask in comment section. I appeal you to like and subscribe our channel, as well as press bell icon so as to receive new videos as and when they are uploaded. Thank you.